Luis Barragán. Luis Barragán was born in Guadalajara, Mexico in 1902. He became one of the best architects of his country and was widely known because of his use of bright colors. This characteristic of his work had a reminiscence with the typical construction of the country and has its roots in Mazamitla, the little town where he grew up. After graduating of civil engineering and architecture, he went on a trip to Europe and was amazed by the beautiful way they use nature in their cities. And that's when he decided to dedicate in landscape design. Something that influenced Barragán in the design of the space was religious architecture, specifically abbeys. The constant search of Barragán for being in contact with God was satisfied with the spaces created within the abbeys. The tall walls and the scarce windows helped him practice meditation and contemplation. He tried to reflect that in his projects with the so-called third space, which was a space dedicated to non-daily activities that helped to break free from the preoccupations of life. Some examples of these third spaces are the water mirror of the Galvez house, the roof garden of his own house, and the dining room with a pool in the Gilardi house. In his architecture, people experience the essence of the spatial design of an abbey. For Barragán, something really important while designing a space is the height of the ceilings and the scale they give to the people living under them. The entrances must have lower ceilings, unlike the common spaces that should achieve the maximum height. The spaces originate from large tunnel sequences which are divided by horizontal walls that don't allow you to contemplate the space in its totality. The preoccupation of Barragán about the differentiation of the spaces also drifts in the attention on the acoustics of them. The tranquility of all his structures is something that characterizes him. He implements elements like water mirrors and tall walls that isolate sounds from one room from the other. The division of the tunnels also helps to avoid the distribution of the noise of one space from the next one. Another thing that Barragán uses to isolate from the surroundings of the house are little windows, which are the only connection with the streets and that don't allow the noises of the exteriors to pass to the houses. Nature has been an important aspect of the culture of Mexico since the Mayan architecture was built in the middle of a deep green context. Because of the fertility of the country, its trees are always covered with thousands of flowers, which serve as an inspiration for the colors used by Barragán. His Mexican pink comes from the bougainvillea. The violets and lilacs are inspired in the jacaranda flowers. Blue is the color of the sky, and ochre yellow and red oxide are colors usually found in the soil. Even though Barragán's architecture may seem as a carnival of colors, he actually used a limited amount of it and following specific parameters and reasons. In many cases, Barragán combines walls and ceilings painting in white to create spaces that organize visual perception and to make the other colors brighter. White captures the color in different shades and generates spaces to subtle complexity. You could experience these color games in the orange walls of the Capuchin Chapel and the yellow corridor in the Gilardi house. The materials used in the walls give different effects of light and shadow because of texture. Barragán used two types of walls. The first one is made by a combination of cement and sand, which makes a rough texture, and the second one is more smooth and even. He never used materials in an unconscious way, because he didn't like that the walls and ceilings had the same texture and aspect. The roughness of the walls resemble human handprints, which are warm and irregular. Light disperses in the rough walls, and in the flat ones, it produces defined shadows and light beams. The circulation in his projects is mostly horizontal, because usually the houses are located in the middle of two other structures. This makes the space long, so you discover the house while walking through the corridors and entering the different rooms. In Barragán's houses, there is no way to see the complete house from one point. Vertical circulation is very scarce. Because of this same reason, his houses grow longitudinally more than vertically. Barragán's architectural spaces are expressed in form, dimension, scale, lighting, color, and texture. He used these 6 elements in exquisite precision, and that is what makes his project so special. Something characteristic of him and for what he always be remembered is his impeccable use of color. While designing, Barragán, more than thinking, he was feeling.